fuck was that?
Welcome to What the Fuck Did I Dream Last Night? I'm Jaynee.
I'm Jess. Hello.
Hi. Well, number one, I apologize to hear my child crying today. It is what it is. Just ignore it.
I
Drink to
apologize
it.
if you hear my fur child licking. Dad is not
Drink.
here.
Have a lot of wine for me today. My child is very much a 2-year-old.
Well, that's appropriate because we're going to be talking about pregnancy dreams at one point. Not today, but one point soon. So
I mean, all
just
my fucking
mommy
pregnancy
pregnancy
dreams.
dreams.
So funny. No, she's like teething and very attached to me, and
I wish we
yeah,
could know what Molly dreams about right now.
you know, I agree. I tried recording her when I went to get her the one day, and I was asking her like, "What'd you dream last night?" And like, she wouldn't say a damn thing to me though, like nothing. Like, wouldn't even say like, "Hi, mom," like nothing. She just looked at me like,
I
"Whatever."
actually feel kind of bad for her because over the next 1 to 2 years, when she's like really talking,
I'm like,
you're
"What'd you
just
dream?
gonna like 20
What'd
question
you
her,
dream?"
like, what'd you dream last night? What'd you dream last night? She's gonna be like, Mom. She's gonna turn into some like neuropsychologist when she gets older.
Or like complete opposite. Like, I want nothing to do with any of that shit. My mom's one of those weirdos. She loves dissecting people's dreams.
Hey, I mean, Freud was into it, so
You don't like Freud.
I know, but I'm warming up to him. I see ups and downs, okay?
I see. I get where Freud comes from. Like, I
Yeah.
understand it.
I mean, he was pivotal in a lot of things we know in, psychology and about the brain and whatnot right now. I mean, or just theories at least, but
Yeah.
sometimes he got a little off his rocker. But I think to come up with a lot of those theories and to be genius, you have to be a little odd and eccentric sometimes.
Mhm.
Because a lot of
I agree.
things, that we know about nowadays to be like, what? The world's not flat? Like, the world's round? Look at this crazy asshole. Whoa.
Yeah, you need those
Right? He
studies,
was
though.
right. Like,
Yeah.
so you gotta like dream and hypothesize and whatnot.
Yes.
Touche, Freud, all right?
um,
Softening me up.
I need to send you that book. I'm almost done reading it.
Yeah, I'll get through it the next decade.
That's how I've been.
So what you got going on for Memorial Day weekend coming up?
Ooh. It's gonna be cold here, and I'm actually very, very excited about it because I hate the heat. The heat makes my anxiety worse. I know this sounds so weird, but it's a trigger for my anxiety. I don't understand
No,
it,
I mean that makes
but
sense.
um,
Was it that way
I
before
hate
you
it.
were pregnant?
Um, yeah, I don't know. When I was pregnant with Molly, though, that's when my anxiety got super bad in the summer, and that's when I first
Right.
started like
So
medicine for
maybe that's
anxiety.
why. Maybe that's why
So,
I associate it with company and like busyness. So I've been a lot more anxious lately, and I
yeah,
think that's why because I associate summer with like being busy. So
no, mine. I just hate the heat.
yeah,
I just am not one of the like. I love the seasons. Like, I'm ready for summer, then I'm ready for
right.
fall. I love them all, but I can't like. I don't know.
I hate winter,
There's a
but
couple picnics. I was like, what was I? What question was I answering? We got a couple
Memorial Day
picnics to go
weekend.
to, and then that's about it. What about you? I'm working as well.
Oh, that's true. Andy is coming down to visit one of my good college friends.
Oh, nice.
Um, he's going to be down here with his brother and some buddies, and it's a usually a really busy weekend here in Myrtle Beach, so we try to keep
Yeah.
it low key. So I'll probably just go to the local beach and cookouts and stuff. It might rain, which we've had like 1 inch of rain, I think, in the past 2 weeks or 3 weeks or four. I don't know. It's a bad drought, so I'm kind of looking forward to rain.
Yeah.
Maybe take a nap on
It's
the couch
storming
while it
here today.
rains.
I love it.
Yeah, for me, I when it's like it's nice out like all the time, so I feel obligated to be like productive when it's nice out.
Hmm.
So I could go for a little rainy rain. Not for everybody coming here on vacation this weekend, but
Yeah. See, when it's raining, I feel like I have to be productive inside. But when it's sunny, I feel like I have to be outside. Like, I feel like
yeah,
guilt if I'm not outside.
Yeah, I'm that way too. When it's rainy though inside, sometimes I'm like, I need to get this done. Other times, I'm like, that time, go
Hmm.
time.
Yes.
But yeah, nothing too crazy going on. Just hoping to just hang out and
Just the start of your visiting train for the summer.
yes, the Harley Hotel.
Yep.
But that's okay. Look forward to it. I always enjoy it. It's just the mental preparation and just,
Hmm.
I've gotten a lot better. I used to get really worked up like trying to impress people, but now I've just kind of been like, well, if you're coming to stay at my house, you get the whole package. So
Yep. There it
you might
is.
be folding my laundry for me. You might be doing my dishes.
You
You might see 5 piles of laundry on my floor. Just,
hmm
gotta hear me complain about things. That's the way it is. We'll have fun, I promise, but
But then, but it's a free place to stay at the beach,
right.
so
So it's a
why
trade off.
not?
So
Yeah, I don't care. I folded your laundry.
she knows. I put people to
Yeah.
work. I used to be like, are you
I
sure? And
cleaned
now
the
I'm like,
bathrooms
bitch,
too.
clean my dishes. Just kidding. I actually really enjoy cleaning my dishes when I have company. If I don't have company, they can go 4 days, and it drives me nuts. But like, I don't need to do it. But when I have company, I enjoy doing it. It's weird. It's therapeutic
I
and cathartic.
I like doing your dishes because your dishwasher is right next to your sink.
Yeah, I think it's a setup because
Mine
it's
is
like an
not like
open
that.
concept. So usually it makes for
Yeah.
good conversation. I'm like doing something.
hmm
But yeah, and the dishwasher's right there. I mean,
I have one of those like old school dishwashers
hmm
that like you have to hook up to the sink.
hmm my mom
And
had one of those at her old place.
I always am like, I set like my water bottle next to the sink. I'm like, fill this up before you start running it. And I never fucking do. I always run, like, I start the damn dishwasher. I'm
That's
like, I'm
funny.
out of water.
That's funny.
Pisses me off. It's okay, because bathroom water tastes better than kitchen water
True.
in everybody's house.
It's always colder.
Yep.
My mom's
Yep.
dog at one point would only drink the bathroom water upstairs, Riley, because it was
I
colder.
don't blame, I do not blame that dog at all. That dog knows what's good. All right. I don't have anything else. I have no, though I have nothing that like pertains to the actual show.
Yeah.
I could just go talk about
We're
bathroom
talking
water because
about
I
our
do that a
bullshit
lot.
Memorial Day plans, which like sounds like we both got like no lives. Well, no,
Yeah,
I got a friend coming. But I don't have any plans for that friend. Andy, if you're listening, I hope you have plans because I got. He's gonna
this
help me
doesn't
move
come
a
out
dresser. Damn it, you're right. Hope we have a good weekend.
until
He's gonna help me move a dresser to my mom's.
there you go.
He knows about it. It's all right. I'm honest. I put my people to work. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
All right, what you got? What you got?
All right. So, I call this one the tree people.
Wait, I don't
Are
know
you
if I
ready?
have a title for mine today.
I didn't have one last week because I was really excited about being 33. But I made sure this one had a title because you asked me what I titled that
Ooh,
dream.
I do have one. Ooh, it is. Ooh, it's like. Oh, all right. Go ahead.
Um, all right. So, we're driving down this dark road in the woods. Now, I'm in the passenger seat. I don't really know who's in the driver's seat, so but that's yep. I feel like it's a man. I think I get like a male presence, like that's what I'm thinking of. Um so it was nighttime. It was very dark out and it was like the moon light was shining. Like that was the only like light in the woods like on the road that we were driving on. And there were these tree bark people. Like it looked as if their body was made out of bark. Like they were half people, half trees. Or like, do you know that episode on Grey's Anatomy when that guy came in with like tree bark skin?
No, but I'm thinking of for all the Marvel fans out there of Groot. Groot.
You
I
okay?
am Groot.
Groot. Yeah, you can go Groot, but Groot's like
Groot's so cute.
yeah, but I feel like no, like it's not the.
Not what you're
I
going
feel like
for.
it's like a scarier thing. If you watch Grey's Anatomy, it's like the tree bark person here. Hang on, I'm gonna show you a picture of it, like this.
Ooh.
So, and it's like a condition where like this is just my Grey's Anatomy knowledge, so don't come at me, people. Um,
I have a
it's
medical
sometimes
degree and I don't know what that is. So.
like they had to like break through it and like there was like a spider that crawled out of his skin and shit, like it was disgusting on the show. But it's like how like if you let like HPV or something get like very bad, like a wart, like it's not a common thing,
Yeah,
but
I
it's
don't
like
know if that ever
real.
actually happens, but basically, like literally looks like this guy has a like
There's
tree
like
branches
it's
for
tree
arms.
man syndrome. You can find other photos of like real people online
Hmm.
of it.
I think that's some things you'll see in like, third world countries, like places that are underserved
Hmm.
medically, like they don't even know where to go. Like they couldn't even just so it just gets out of control.
Exactly. Like
Yeah,
it's a thing,
it's
but
real.
it's real.
So
But
he
like
had
again,
that? He had the passenger had that? Or the other just people walking around had it?
no, so it was like the people in the woods. Like there were these
Ooh,
people that looked like they were like part tree, part people, and like that's
right.
what I like.
Okay.
That's the best way to describe it. Like it wasn't like
Right.
I don't know, they weren't like friendly, I guess. So um
I'm scared already.
so these people looked like that, and they had very very like dark black long hair, and they crossed in front of our car, and we were driving like very very slow down the road, and the driver of the car told me, he's like, do not make eye contact with them. And of course, like with the last lady, I definitely made eye contact with her, and I was like, damn it. So
Ew.
she comes to my window, and like my window rolled down like on its own. Like it was almost like she had like the power to like make it
Yeah.
happen. So she rolled down the window, and I go, I already fucking made eye contact with her. So I like look at her, and I'm like kind of like calm in my dream. I'm not like really freaking out, but I'm not comfortable either. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm just kind of like, shit, like I just want the fuck out of here, but
Mhm.
I gotta deal with what I gotta deal with here first. So my window went down. Um, and she asked me if I'd like a free hot meal. She's like, do you want a free hot meal? A free hot meal? And like she kept saying that. And I kept saying no, but she was like insisting on it. So we start like driving again, and like I wind my window up, which I don't know why like we stopped and let her talk to me, but
Mhm.
I don't know. Or I don't know if like she had control
Right.
over us and like I had to at least like listen to her.
Mhm.
So I saw this little hut. Maybe it looked like it was real small, like maybe like what an outhouse would look like in the woods, like not like big, but this wasn't an outhouse. Just trying to describe what the size was.
Mhm.
And like that's where they were cooking the meal at, and like I could see like it was tiny, but I could tell like there was a fire in there, like that they could cook on. Just because I could see like the light like flickering, like a fire flickering.
Mhm.
So next the driver said he was going to turn around and go back, but like for some reason I'm like, no, like you cannot, like you have to go to the end of this road to get out of here. Like if you turn around, like we'll never get out of here. Like I was like set on that. Like I was trying to explain to him the directions. Like I think like I've been through these woods before.
Mhm.
So we get to the end of the road, and then next thing you know, I'm in some kind of like building, um, or just like a room. It seems it's kind of like a dingy room,
Okay.
and it's me and the guy that was in the car with, and then a police officer is in there, and I start telling about this group of people that are offering food and like food and whatnot, like and oh,
You could ding that time.
I did ding.
Usually I would ding.
I got caught off guard there.
You really did.
Like, oh,
It was kind of like
my phone's never on
it
loud.
was an
Like
intense
it was.
part of your dream though. So I was like, ooh, sound effects in this dream. Okay. We'll get there eventually.
No, we won't. Uh, I'm not going that
No,
far.
when we have like a whole team and,
Oh, okay.
Molly has her degree in like engineering or something and is like all stoked on dreams because you've been, priming
No,
her
I feel like
since
the
she
total
was 3 years
opposite.
old, 2 years old.
Yes. Right. Like you can hear right now how happy she is about it. Okay, so I start telling about the group of tree people and they're offering food and
The
whatnot.
police officer.
Yes,
Yep.
I'm telling him that.
Hmm.
And as I'm telling him about this, some man that like comes in, and I believe that he's part of the tree people, and he brought us food, and it was like a stew, and I distinctly remember like in a regular can of Coke, like a regular can of Coca Cola. And I didn't really say much to him. I just took it, like took the food so he could leave. So the cop tells me that like they're like, we really can't do anything about them doing this because they're just offering a free service, even though they're expecting tips for their service, like that's how they're like living on things. They're not actually doing anything
This shit
wrong.
happens all the time in this house.
What?
This happens a lot. People will give you something, quote, for free, but then they expect
Oh,
you to give them money.
yes, yes,
Hmm.
yes.
Like a craft.
Nothing's truly free.
Hmm.
Um,
But he's like, it's not illegal. You can't. They can't do anything about it.
exactly. They can't do. There's nothing that they can do about it.
Hmm.
So that was the end of the
And
dream.
then you feel
But
obligated. You're like, do I take the meal? Do I give them money? But I don't want to give them
well,
money.
I took the meal. I did not give them any
Right?
money. I
But
didn't
then,
want
but
to
in
take the
real life,
meal.
this happens to me a lot where I'm like, you look so nice, but I don't want to give you money. I don't want that item. But you want to give me that item.
This doesn't happen to me that much in
It
my
happens
life.
like I know, so that's what I said. I don't know if it's just I shouldn't say the South, but in like touristy places here, they'll make palms. It's like palm roses,
Hmm.
palm crosses, and it happens a lot, like in Charleston and Savannah. And they'll give it to, it'll be a couple walking down, the road, and
Just say no, thank you,
and
and
you
keep
say,
walking.
well, and then they'll hand you this like palm rose they made, and then they like follow you or they like hold their hand out like for money.
Yeah.
But when you don't know what they're doing, you're just like, oh, how sweet! Like they're giving this to you, then you're like, oh, yeah,
Nah, nothing's free, girl.
mm-mm. Now
I don't take anything.
I'm like, keep your shit. No,
When we were in
I say just say
DC,
have a
like
good
people were
day.
handing out their pamphlets, like Jesus is coming. Like I won't even take those.
No, it's like I'm
And
good, man.
I'm
You
like,
do
no, thank
you.
you. And he's like, all right, just know Jesus is coming. And I'm like, yep. And I'm just
We
always like so
good.
talkative to everybody.
Yeah.
And I was like,
You respect. I mean, you
meanwhile, but like,
respect
I
what
mean,
they're doing. You don't want to be a jerk about it.
yeah,
Like that's they're doing.
hell, I
They're
don't
doing
care. Make
them.
money.
Yeah, you do you. But let me do
Shit.
me.
Those really like doing those things, like, or like if you go to like the boardwalk at the beach and like people like dress as like statues or characters and put a tip bucket out, like they're making bank.
Oh, I'll give them money if I think.
That's like that's the same thing.
Well, if I think that's like a cool thing. But anyways, we're getting
Well,
off
some
topic.
people might find that
Right.
palm rose a very cool thing.
Exactly. So they do them. I'll do me. If I won't give you money, I won't. But like you weren't
Fair
hungry in
enough.
this dream, so like leave me alone, woman.
Well, I'm not taking food from a hut that doesn't seem from tree people. They weren't even people. They were half tree, half people.
Okay, I want to hear if you have
I
any
think
actual insight into this dream.
so. Okay, first off, I just like this dream, like it was quick to tell, but like when I had this dream, it felt so long. Like it was like a drawn out, like
Right,
going through this damn forest, and like these tree people kept like walking around us, but yeah, it just was like a never ending, like
right.
not never ending. One thing I wanted to bring up too before I go into it, like this dream also seems like scary, like, but I think ever since I started this podcast and I started talking about my dreams more and actually like religiously
Yeah.
documenting them more, my dreams don't like freak me out anymore.
I think it's like a version of lucid dreaming. Like you don't control it per se, but you are aware that this is a dream. So you
Yeah.
like control your reaction because I've definitely, because a lot of times in my dreams now, I literally think about what it means in my dream, like what's
Hmm.
going on, like what this means. And I can't control it yet, but um, I need to think about what it means, or I think about, man, I can't wait to tell this to Jaynee.
So, and I haven't gotten like that far with it, but like even just because we're on this topic, like there's been two dreams recently that I was in like claustrophobic situations
Hmm.
where I would be like panicking in real life.
Hmm.
But like I was calm and I was like, oh my gosh, like I was thinking to myself, like if this ever happened in real life, I would be terrible here. Like I could never do this.
Right.
But it was like I was cool there.
Yeah, so I think it's like I said, just like a form of it, if you will. No, not
Yeah.
that every dream I have, like I don't have control or awareness, but definitely a
No,
lot
no,
more than
no.
usual.
I gotcha. Okay, so let's dig into some stuff here. So I haven't been watching Grey's Anatomy because like I said before, because of pregnancy and I'm not trying to like uh make my anxiety all worse. So like that's not like how I dreamt of that and then like went into something.
Hmm.
I don't understand how this would be even like a brain dump
Right.
dream.
I got vibes of like the Wizard of Oz when you were talking about this. Like when she's going through the scary
mm,
forest and the tree starts like that, she like goes to pick up an apple and the tree
yeah, but
starts
they're
going
not
like,
trees. They are people.
trees are people too.
Shut up. So I don't really take anything from this dream, but I did look up some
Well, that's
shit
what I said. I
and
mean, I'm impressed if you get any. I mean, I could give you my 2 cents about it. Let's see what you got.
I mean, if we want to just like be like basic bitches and just be like, oh, I'm like struggling to get to the end of somewhere,
Oh
and
no,
these are my obstacles.
no, no, no.
Okay, well, I just looked up some
Go
symbols
ahead. Go
about some shit. Okay, I think I just said shit like 25 times, but hey. So to dream that you're walking through a forest, and I felt like this was more of like a foresty thing because of how dark it was than just a woods, which I don't know the difference between woods and forest, but that's how I take it in my
I
head.
don't either. Hmm.
Um, a forest, I picture it's
Like
darker and bigger,
thicker.
and the woods are just like
Yeah.
these are my woods in my backyard.
Yeah.
Well, my little patch of woods here. Um, so if you're walking through a forest for a long time, can mean that you're worried about a problem. You might need to plan your life a little bit better currently. That a quick solution that you have for something isn't going to cut it. Um, if you are a writer, this is a good sign in your dream. It means your work is going well, and as many people are going to love your work. So, this is something I really haven't shared with like anybody, but this is like interesting to me. Um, I've been working on like a camping blog, so I have been doing a lot of writing
Mm-hmm.
lately. So I thought that was funny, and I've been trying
Especially
to,
camping
or not
blog,
trying.
like woods, like kind
Oh
of,
yeah,
nature. Yeah.
yeah. Um, I want to take my dreams, like my really long ones, and like turn them into short stories.
Hmm.
So I've been working on that too. So I thought that was funny or
Yeah,
ironic. I don't
absolutely.
really know, but
Hmm.
you know. Something. What did you just say? Woods dreams. Oh, camping. I don't know. I don't have the date for this dream. It wasn't like super recently,
Hmm.
but like so I have no idea about that. But we always talk about camping, so who the hell
Right.
knows?
When you went to
Um
that, she went to an RV kind of convention, if you will, where almost
RV
like a
show.
car show. Yeah, an RV show convention that was very formal. I don't know.
No, I wasn't. I didn't. It was at the convention
Maybe
center.
that's where I got that from, but maybe I don't know if it was around that time or not. But
No, this was longer ago.
hmm.
This dream.
Okay.
I feel like it was probably like 2 months ago or something. Um. Okay, so more about some tree things here. If you notice the height of trees in your dream, it means that you will have success with your hard work. If you are being followed in the forest, the same type of problem from your past is coming up again. Um, and you might have to look back and recall how you dealt with it in the past to help you out now.
Hmm.
Which I think I was kind of being followed.
No,
I feel like I
yeah,
was. They
that's how I
followed me.
feel.
Um, and if you're wandering through the forest at night, you may need to take a look at the negativity in your life and how to get away from it and resolve it. Then darkness in your dream. So if you have a dream about darkness, which is really common, you could be lacking a connection with your spiritual side. And if you are in the darkness, it could be an omen for a long, painful illness. But if you find light in your darkness, like
Hmm.
if there's light in the darkness in your dream,
Hmm.
you'll be able to overcome that issue. So I also looked into moonlight because that was like really the only light in my dream, and that looking up that about darkness kind of like triggered that to look for. And I felt like it was a really like bright moon that was lighting our way in the woods and forests. So moonlight can be an emotional breakthrough, mean that emotional breakthrough is coming. This dream could be reassure you. This dream should reassure you that you're on the right path during these dark times that you're going through in life.
Okay. So I'm hearing a lot of kind of like right path and repetition on kind of things to come, and so I
Yeah.
think it is interesting, although we don't know the exact timeline, but that you're kind of looking into these new endeavors in your life, and the subject of the dream is kind of similar to those. So I think that matches up. You know, nature,
Yeah.
woods, um, interesting. Yeah.
And like if I really dug deep, um I feel like everyone can find a struggle that they're going through. It's not like I'm walking through
Right.
like daisies right now. Like,
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
I mean, like
like
yeah.
but no, I think this makes a lot of sense and I like how all these symbols really did go together. Like and it was nice that they all kind of had like a positive thing too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, this kind of
And
sucks,
you were calm. You
but
were calm about your reception of it, and you in the situation.
yeah,
Um.
the most I was like worked up in my dream is like when I saw the cop and I was just like going off to him, but I don't even think I was like worked up. It's just how I get when I'm like I was excited, like
Mhm.
not excited, but I was just like, listen to this. And I like ah, like rambled to
Right.
him.
So a couple things I take from this. I thought it was interesting that you specifically remembered Coca-Cola. So just for shits and giggles, I decided to see what Coca-Cola symbolized in a dream.
Energy strength. So
And a few symbols, a few different sources. So I mean, I'll just quote Annie Flo, but I just looked at a few of them. It's kind of a universal for success, which again is cool, goes hand in hand with what we're saying, and I think it's a good omen.
yeah.
Because of the success that the classic Coca-Cola symbol has had in advertising, and we all recognize it quickly. So, and it also correlates with having the means and the stability in your life to afford such luxuries. So again, it actually ties
Hmm,
in,
that's
yeah,
cool.
nicely with your dream.
I'm glad you went and looked that up because I wanted to look that up too because like that was like one of the main things that I really did like distinctly remember,
Hmm.
and I probably really distinguished. I really
Yeah.
remember it. I'm not even gonna use another word. Because in like real life, I hate regular pop. Like I hate regular Coke. I hate regular
Hmm.
Pepsi. Diet Coke. I am like in the cult of Diet
Right.
Coke land though. Um,
McDonald's Diet
so
Coke
like
or
I would
any Diet Coke?
any Diet Coke. McDonald's does have the best Diet Coke though.
That's a real thing, guys.
Uh,
See, I think it was when you were pregnant with Molly, you were like obsessed with McDonald's Diet Coke. And I think you sent
um,
me an article. You're like, it's real. Like
I looked it up. It's like they have
they do.
special
Yep,
tubing for their Coke
it's
machines.
legitimately
Yeah.
different. Hmm.
I looked I was just on TikTok the other day. Imagine that, me scrolling through TikTok. But it was like 2 in the morning and I contemplated waking Trevor up to show him this TikTok and it was like if you really know your girlfriend, which Diet Coke would she pick? And they had like a fountain can, 2 liter, like the 20-ounce bottle, or McDonald's.
That's
It
legit.
was just funny. Uh-huh.
um, there was also just kind of big picture about your dream when you're first going through it. I kind of see it as interpret it as like your openness towards others and towards ideas in general. Um, I think you're a far less judgmental person than most people. Um,
Yeah.
so, and like a lot of times, like we'll be talking in a group text and we'll be like trying to like, we'll see something on the news and we're like criticizing it. And Janie's usually like devil's advocate and she's not trying to be. It's just like,
I
sometimes you are maybe, but it's just usually her. She's like, well, I don't know. You don't know what they were going through. And I'm just like, shut up, Janie. Like, come on.
I am that
But
person.
she's
I'm
just like
terribly
a
that
genuinely good person like that. And then I'm like, fine, now I feel like a bitch, thanks. But that's why she's a bitch in
person.
her dreams half the time because she doesn't do it during waking hours, I'm telling you. But
I do that all the
I know it's
time.
funny, but it's
People
not a
tell
bad
me like
thing.
I don't have
No,
friends.
it's not that. It's a wonderful
Yeah,
trait.
but sometimes
But
people just need to bitch. And I'm like, well,
but no, but I mean it's okay though, because then I could just be like, shut up, Janie. Let me have this moment. You're like, okay, fine, fuck them. But but in
yeah, well, you can tell me that,
right.
but new friends can't. That's why my new friends don't stick around.
No.
I mean, they
So
can. They just won't.
so
I mean, they can stick around. That's not, you know what? Never mind.
Love you guys. Come home. But but it's interesting, like in your dream, I had a dream before about a police officer, and again, it's another one of those things where you have to look at the role of the police officer. Are they helping you? Are you opposing them? Are they opposing you? Do you look at them as a friendly role, or etc.? So in this case, the police officer was, like a positive part in your dream. From your perspective, they're telling you to fear these people, and don't look at them, don't look them in the eye, etc. But you do, and then you end up. It's not that you befriend them per se, but you take the meal from them, and like you're almost like trying to be a bridge. And I think that's
I wouldn't talk to him though. I just took it.
right. But you were at
And that's
least
me being a bitch.
you were
But
giving them a
I'll just
chance, though, at least, or else maybe you're just curious, But
I'm not gonna eat this
I
random
mean, you don't gotta
stew that
eat
you just
it,
make in
but
the
you didn't throw it
forest.
back in their face. So,
No, just take it so he left.
yeah.
Just go,
Okay,
just
fine. You
leave.
see, she's still
I
a
don't
bitch
even
in
know
her
why I'm in
dream.
this. I don't even know why I was like in this dingy room. Like, why did we get out of the car? Why did we go to where were we
I don't
going?
know.
Who was I with?
Yeah, who's the police officer?
Where was that cop's car? I got a bunch of questions. The cop was just like so chill. He was just like, "Yeah, dude, like I can't do nothing. Like I can't do anything about these people. I know." Maybe he was like park police. Like maybe he wasn't like
mm,
true
or it
cop.
reflects some at some points the helpless nature that some people feel in their position. I don't know. Damned if I do and damned if I don't. So I'm just gonna chill here and drive through this forest. you know? You don't know.
I don't
'Cause
know.
it ended. You
I
woke up.
definitely felt like I've been there before. Did I gotta go back to bed?
That's so
Good night.
frustrating,
Don't
yeah,
go
when
creeping.
those dreams you just want them to keep going. You're like, no, there has to be more. Damn it.
No, I didn't want to go back to that one though. The tree people were a little freaky. It reminded me a little bit like a culty
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
going on.
Well,
Um, now I just remembered I was watching. I feel like it was another fucking TikTok. I really, really, really got to get off TikTok. I learn things, but I'm like, I don't even know if half this shit's
creator of
true that I'm
TikTok and
learning.
Facebook need to just get thrown on an island somewhere and
No, I love Facebook. No, I love TikTok. Don't go anywhere.
but
So,
they've changed the
uh,
premise of society. You realize that, right? You're like, oh,
Facebook did worse.
TikTok's getting there. G just stayed with me for a weekend, all right? She's like, on
Yeah,
TikTok. I'm like, TikTok, man.
yeah, but TikTok's cool because like you can really follow like different doctors and different
I
things.
usually
Like
like
you can
every
follow to
TikTok
see like
someone
all
sends
these
me. I usually like it. You guys just
mindsets
filter it
and
for
stuff.
me.
But I watching one of them, and this girl was like, "Why aren't we like why are people more scared of the ocean than they are like the forest?" Because there's like stories of like these like people living in this forest that like no one even knows about the living there. Like they've just been so deep into the forest, like that's like they have their community, and like they're just living their fucking lives. Like they don't fucking know about COVID.
Mm,
Like you
mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
They
So
don't know
then
about TikTok.
so this story. No, look, they're on TikTok or they're being
That's
talked about.
ironic.
Um, so that dream could have came from there
Yeah, that could be it. That could be it.
if it lined up and like if the
Yeah.
timelines were right. Another thing I like to read a lot is those stupid glitches in the Matrix. So I feel like a lot of my dreams like get pulled into that as well.
Mm-hmm. I can see that for sure.
I'm on that shit a lot too. So good.
Well,
All right, what do you
I have
got?
a trigger warning for my dream. It is about so any kind of breaking and entering, intruders, and a trigger warning about guns. So um, if that is gonna set you off, or you're not sure how you're feeling, and then go back to an old episode or skip to the next. And it's not like super serious or anything, but just a heads up.
Yeah.
My dream starts off with my husband Camden and I were in the downstairs of our home. So it's not our real home right now because I live in the South and we don't have basements here. So we were in a
Yep.
home. I got the vibe like it was in Pittsburgh. It was like an old home and basically like something we would have lived in college or something. So I feel like it was like a house I went to in college, like at a party or something. But and then it looked kind of like it was G's backyard. So that's the combination I have here. So
Mhm.
we were in the basement of our house and we heard it sounded like footsteps upstairs, but I looked at him. I was like, I'm probably just hearing stuff. Like, how you hear creak in your house? And then I heard like more
Yeah.
walking, and I was like definite walk. And I looked at him and I was like, oh my god, somebody's upstairs. And it was nighttime. So we were like, oh shit. So, but we had guns, so we both grabbed our guns and we like yelled like, who's up there? We're coming up. So we like walked up the steps and like we heard somebody like running, like trying to escape and leave. So like we ran after them into our backyard. And then it was almost like there was a long sidewalk kind of stairway that like led away from our yard, almost like down to a bridge, which is like kind of like what G has in her backyard. So I think that's where I'm getting it from.
Yeah.
So the intruder was this older man, probably maybe in his 70s with like long, scraggly, like gray hair. And he looked, kind of frailer. Like I could definitely like tackle him and take him in a heartbeat. And I like held up my gun. Cam like fumbled with his or something. So it was like up to me. Um, so I held up my gun and I could have shot him. And at one point, like the
Yeah.
older man like had a weapon as well and like could have done something, but like he just decided to run away. So like it was up to me. I could either like shoot him or let him go, and I decided to let him go because I was like, I don't want to hurt anybody or in their life. But I was like, what am I doing? We could at least call the police. Like he's running so slow and he's like elderly. I could at least like run and tackle him. It's just like terrible to say, but um, and then.
You go, it's terrible to say, and
But
I'm laughing. So I mean,
I mean, at the end of the day, like broke in my house with guns. So I was like,
exactly.
what, like, Cam, what are we doing? Like, we should go. So we started running after him, and then the dream, which was weird. I don't know if I've ever had this happen. It reset itself to the end.
Oh,
So we weren't in the basement. It reset itself to a new intruder. Um, and the new intruder was a man in his like 40s approximately, and he had these like long,
tough for fight. Tough for
so
fight.
long, kind of like luscious blonde hair, kind of like a surfer guy or like a hippie.
Okay.
And I think he had like a tie dye shirt on, but I got vibes like he was like a surfer guy or like hippie. And same thing, he's the one that broke into our house, and he was the one who was now running away. So like I again was the one that had the gun and like I had the opportunity to either like defend myself and like hurt him or let him go.
So it reminds me of like video gamies. Like you gotta like beat the bosses.
Yeah,
I
it was
don't
like I
know.
guess like a different
Or that's
levels,
what I
different
want to
type
do.
of bad guy. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like, okay, you got the old man out of your house. Now can you get a 40-year-old
And
out? Like,
the old man in my dream was always like very far off from me, and this guy was in like closer proximity to me. Um, but I ultimately let him go as well. And I didn't exchange any words from with him from what I can remember. So
mhm.
the dream reset itself a third time, and this time
Okay.
it was a
Yep.
woman, and she had like
Oh,
bleach blonde hair. She looked like somebody that would have been part of like in the PTO. I mean, I don't want to offend anybody with this, but like your kind of classic stereotypical like Stepford wife, like cookie cutter, blonde
yeah.
hair with like perfect little clothes, like perfect makeup, matching jewelry.
My
Uh,
sister.
I mean, you could go for that. It's not a bad thing, but like that's the vibe I got, like a soccer mom, whatever. So now she's the one.
Very much my sister. You just really described her to a T, and she would know it. She would admit
I
it
mean, it
as
wasn't
well.
your sister in my dream, but I guess like that kind of style. And um, but this one didn't run away because we had like people over our house, at that point, and I was like, I just confronted her, and I was like, why were you trying to break into my home? I mean, this is my home. These are my things. And she was like, well, we all have. So, I confronted her and I said, what the hell? Like, you're breaking into my house. You're trying to take my things. What are you doing? And she's like, well, listen, we all have bills to pay and we have to pay them some way and protect our kids. And, this is just what I had to do. And you would do the same thing. And I was like, no, I wouldn't. Like, you're my friend. I wouldn't go stealing stuff from you.
Wait, what about that song? What would you do if your son was at home, proud
Drive
all
out phone. Oh man, that's a good tune. I know every word of that song.
alone? That's
Every word.
exactly what this reminds me of.
Man, I haven't heard that song lately either.
What would you do?
Get up on my feet and stop making man. I know every word. Um, so I was like, no, like I wouldn't. Like you're my friend. I wouldn't take stuff from you. And she's like, well, I mean, I don't have to tell you. Like she was not apologetic at all. And I was like, well, how are you going to compensate me? Like, you just tried to do this and take my stuff. Like, what about that necklace you have on? That's a good looking necklace. Like, I want your necklace. Give me your necklace. And she did. She's like,
Man,
fine. And I was like, I want your earrings too. And she said, fine. So she gave me her earrings and her necklace. And that was my trade off for breaking into my home. And that was the end of my dream.
hmm.
So at first, and I don't know if I gave the title of this dream, did I?
I don't think you
The
did.
title, which is such a bummer because it was like a very now, hindsight, it's not going to sound as cool, damn it. It was unwelcome guest in the night. And
Oh,
it's funny when I do this because when I name these dreams, it's usually at like 6 or 7 a.m. Like, I haven't had any caffeine or anything since what hit me. And the insightful moment at, 6 a.m. was unwelcome guest.
that's funny that you name your dreams then, because I don't name them until I start like deciphering them. If that made sense. Once I started preparing for an episode.
Yeah, that was it. So, because I like to see I rarely rename them though, because I just like to do whatever comes out. So,
I gotcha. No, I get that makes sense.
yeah. So at first when I had this dream, I just thought, wow, that was kind of interesting that it reset itself. I don't recall having a dream like that. It was like the same version. It was the same version over and over again, and but different people. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then I did some more research onto it because I do have a fair amount of dreams where somebody's in my house or breaks into my house.
Uh huh.
Um, so I actually found a really cool source on this. And it
I
was,
really liked this dream, by the way. I want to say that first. I just really enjoyed how it kept resetting.
yeah, it was really cool, and I felt fairly in control through it all. Again, where this is something if somebody was
I feel
breaking
like you
into my
gained
home.
confidence
Yeah,
through each person.
yeah, and they were all very different people, so I'm going to get into that. But at first, I just want to
Uh-huh.
talk about breaking into our homes, and that subject matter. So this is from Dr. Richard J. Corelli, and he's a psychiatrist who works at Stanford. So I'm going to quote him on this because I think it's just well worded and well put. And frankly, when we try to interpret these dreams, it's it's somewhat hard to get an actual kind of scientific source or um, they're kind of usually all over the map. So I think it's interesting to see somebody who's kind of well versed in these things.
Yes, I get
So
excited
I want to
about
do
that too.
them due diligence. So um, he noted that, and this can be found on Stanford's website. So it's web.stanford.edu, and it's slash Corelli slash nightmares. But you can find his profile and everything on Stanford's website. So he says we sometimes dream of someone trying to break into our home, and it's just kind of a general subject matter on nightmares. This is often an inner psychological figure who may represent some shameful or unwanted part of ourself who is breaking into our consciousness. It is about to break into our awareness, and then we will have to confront this unwanted aspect of ourselves. The purpose of this figure seems to be to reflect all of the worst aspects of our character so that we may become more fully conscious of those traits. and accept these unwanted but vitally necessary parts of ourselves. These aspects are often quite evident to those whom we live with or know us well, but are hidden from our own conscious opinion of ourselves, and thus will appear alien and scary to us in our dreams. The intruder in the dream may represent some awareness or insight that is about to break through into our consciousness. It appears scary because it is unknown what demands it will make on us, but it actually should be welcomed into our psychological health because it brings with it a gift of self awareness. Every aspect of the dream represents some part of ourself. The intruder in the dream represents some part of ourself that we have kept outside our awareness for too long and now needs to be let in. It may represent a feeling or attitude that we need to be more conscious of. And again, that was by Richard J. Corelli, MD. So I was like, wow.
That's interesting, but I can see that.
Yeah, right. So it's a logical association, I think, but I think just how
Mhm.
he worded it was very well put, and it seems like he's, quite a successful and well studied psychiatrist. So, um, and
And I
we,
feel like that's something everybody does.
yeah, so I have, I haven't quite had a dream like this as far as break-ins go. This is a fear of mine. Like before I go to bed every night, I probably double check at different points if my doors are locked. Like I even locked my garage door, which so I mean, it's definitely it's
I was
always
gonna
kind of
bring
on
that
the
up too.
forefront. And like if I hear something, I always like go back in the middle of the night. I'm like back door locked, garage door locked, front door locked. So
Mhm.
windows locked type
They
deal.
because they are so big on this. Like you're so big on it. We got locked out of your house that one time.
hmm I so that's just so I get it. I get why I dream about it a lot, but
Mhm.
this was different in a way that it was three very different intruders coming into the home. So I kind of wanted to think about when I read this, I was like, so what is this representing? Is it like three different fears of mine, three different parts of my like subconsciousness, etc. So um, kind of the soccer mom, PTO mom, I could kind of figure out. So I'm like, all right, maybe this is um my fear or again we talk about having children and being a mom and I worry about being like the perfect wife. Am I being, a good
Yeah.
enough this, a good enough that? And that's something I've kind of struggled with my whole life. It's like being a good enough version of myself and
Mhm.
the expectations of others, um, and failing at that. So I think that's what that woman represented. Um, and then I think the man in his like 40s kind of represents like a part of me that I desire to be. So kind of more carefree and um, like when I see people, I like to go to live music and shows and concerts. One of my favorite things is that I'm surrounded by people who are often very different from me
Mhm.
and are a lot more what I look at as like relaxed and carefree. And I'm like envious of them. And I wish I could be more like that. Which you never know what people are going through. So, but that's just
Yeah.
how I perceive things. So that's how I look at that man. And then I couldn't really figure out the older gentleman. So this one I kind of did a little bit of research into just kind of what it means to dream of elderly people.
Mhm.
And this one was about, I got this off that femalefirst.co.uk.
I've been
And
going to that website a lot more lately.
yeah,
And then I figured out like I feel like why every time I read an article on hers, her like like states her sources,
hmm
and her sources are like always like my top three like favorite websites that I already go to. So
yeah,
I'm
and
like, that's why I like this.
they're usually just like very well put and
Yes.
um, concise and relevant. So I'll just speak to a little part and I'll quote elderly people are also thought to represent the power of forgiveness for past experiences. Perhaps there is someone you need to forgive in order to move on or to reestablish a connection with. You may need to show someone more understanding if you have been resentful towards them. So I think everybody can relate to the statement. And this is certainly relevant to particular things in my life right now, and with um, and with certain relationships I have in my life right now. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of bringing up old feelings and old things like that that you need to kind of make sure, are you okay with? Have you hashed things out so that you can move forward and, be healthy and whatnot. And it's interesting because out of the three intruders, the elderly man was probably the one that, um, like he was the furthest away from me. Um, he was the one I could have easily taken like down the most, but I let go. I kind of like ignored and let them go. Um,
Hmm.
but it's kind of like interesting to me that like if you look at it like that, he was the first, like literally distance wise, the furthest away from me. So I'm like, is this
Yeah.
something I'm struggling with the most? Whereas like the second intruder was the one that was like kind of like the carefree guy, where he was kind of like closer, and then there was the one that was like in my mind like the perfect wife, perfect
Hmm.
mom, perfect social figure who apparently was actually really struggling, and she was
Yeah.
the one that I like was had just a normal conversation with, and it was
Yeah.
clearly like in my circle of friends. So I thought this was not a long dream, but a very insightful one, and
No, I like that one.
yeah, I don't really know. I don't want to reflect on it too much because that can take you down a wormhole. But
Oh yeah.
again, it's just one of those things where you just kind of look at it and you say, all right, what do I need to address anything in my life from it?
Hmm.
So, and if nothing else, it's kind of cool too. And I'm glad I didn't
I
hurt
I just
anybody.
really I just really liked it that well, yeah.
I'm glad I
Um
let them all go, and apparently they never came back. So
um yeah, I just thought like it's so interesting that like the dream kept resetting itself.
yeah, and they were all
And
different people, like extremely different
yeah, like
types
it
of
was just
people.
like, okay, you made it, like that's what you did.
Hmm.
Now we're gonna go back and see how you'll react to this person. Like that's how
Yeah,
I
and it almost
think.
gets back to like the Matrix. And that's
Yes.
what I think I put in my dream actually.
I really
Did
need to watch The Matrix.
I put this in? This must have been my other dream. It was, but I put like where at some points in my dreams lately, I feel like I'm almost part of a the word I blank on it too. Like a control experiment or something. I'm blank on the word.
Yes. Yeah, I know what you mean though.
Um, right. Doesn't matter.
I feel like experiment is a good word.
Yeah, several synonyms.
A simulation?
Simulation. Thank you. Yes, it was the word you used
That
before.
seems to
It
that
began with
seems
an
to
S. I just
I
couldn't
use
think of
that
the
word all
word.
the time.
I
That's why I was like,
know.
oh, that one.
When I tried to think of it before, I couldn't either. I was just mental blank. So yeah, that's my dream.
I like it. I like it.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you all for listening to
you.
us. Don't forget you follow us on social media to keep up to date with us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at WTF Did I Dream Last Night. Send us your emails to or send us your dreams to our email at WTF Did I Dream Last Night at gmail.com for a dream mail episode so we can talk about your dreams. And if you like us, give us a rating on Apple Podcast. It really helps us out. And you can join us on Patreon for some bonus content.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening, guys. And until next time, happy dreaming.